Hello, WiLLo Davis. How's it going? I have not been able to escape this drama. It's been going on for a week and a half, but it feels like forever just from all the back and forth. And I'm not even involved in it. Every time I open Twitter or YouTube, I'm bombarded with more discussion on it. But I think as of this morning, it's finally at a conclusion here. It's been covered by the likes of TMZ, and Bloomberg is even involved in it. And the whole mess surely has lawyers at the ready. I'm talking about the pay dispute regarding the Bayonetta voice actress, Helena Taylor. I am very late to the game here talking about this. Many people have already brought this up, some jumping the gun a little bit, others waiting until more information came out, but as it turns out, even then there was just a bit more to come to end it all, and I think as of this morning, this is about it. Now obviously I have a whole gaming channel, WiLLo Davis Games, where I would cover such topics as this. However, being that this seems to have just gone so mainstream that like TMZ is talking about it and other publications as well, many have already heard about it, I thought I would bring it up on here. If this isn't the type of thing that you guys want on this channel, that's fine. Got a whole nother channel for stuff like that anyway. And we've been even talking about this over on my Twitch channel as it's been coming out. Well, I mean, there was also the whole Skyrim thing from my last video on this channel, but that was because it was relevant to Amberlynn. But anyway, in case you don't know, Bayonetta is a game series. It's now exclusive to Nintendo consoles, I believe. It's a game made by Platinum Games, I guess published by Nintendo at this point. And Bayonetta 3 is due to come out October 28th, so in 4 days now. But on October 15th, just 2 weeks before this game was supposed to come out, the former voice actress, Helena Taylor, who voiced the protagonist from the first two games, posted these videos to Twitter requesting that fans of the series boycott the upcoming third installment. Now, we already knew she was not going to be voicing Bayonetta in the third game here. I believe Platinum cited scheduling conflicts at the time that was announced, but she goes on to say in these videos that she is breaking NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to say that she was offered to play the part in the upcoming game, but the amount she was offered was insultingly low, as she said. The way she put it here was that she was offered a total of $4,000 to take part in the game, basically making the point it was insulting, disrespectful, unappreciative of voice actors and their work in the industry. It was multiple parts, I think 4 parts total of these videos. The first one currently has 9.8 million views on Twitter. So she basically says, please boycott it because of this whole mess. And even this is where she lost some people here. She said the new voice actress of Bayonetta, Jennifer Hale, doesn't deserve to sign things as Bayonetta because she didn't create the character or something like that. So this super duper blew up at the time because the game was about to come out. People got their pre-orders ready and everything. And now the person who voiced the protagonist of the first 2 games is saying, do not buy it. This is where a lot of people jump the gun. There's a lot of posts from fans, content creators and whatnot saying, I'm boycotting, that's done, I'm canceling my pre-order, tweeting at Platinum Games and whatnot that they need to pay their people better. A lot of people tweeting at Hideki Kamiya, I guess the director of Bayonetta for Platinum Games. I didn't know anything about this guy previously. Apparently he's just an absolute troll on Twitter, just a real grump, blocks people constantly. One of his rules about like interacting with him on Twitter is you can't use English. Going as far as to call I guess, people who he doesn't like on Twitter insects. He just calls people insects if I guess they annoy him on Twitter. I don't know. Dude seems pretty miserable. I mean, in the videos, Helena even says that she contacted him to see if he would offer more or something, and I guess that didn't go the way she wanted. I'm pretty sure this guy actually at the time got like suspended on Twitter, probably from blocking too many accounts at once or something like that. Like they thought he was a bot or something, or got hacked, because he was probably just blocking so many people. But anyway, yeah, it was a big stir. TMZ picked it up, the $4,000 to do the part. Now, I think it was assumed that the studio time for such a thing would end up being maybe about 16 hours total, 4 days of 4 hours each, or at least I think that was suggested of what the previous games took. I believe at that time, Kamiya said something about how it was all lies or something, and beware his rules. It was always saying beware his rules, his Twitter rules. I don't blame people at this point who wanted to hold off on pre-orders or whatever until some kind of, maybe a statement came out, something happened regarding this, waiting to hear more information. As I said, a lot of people did just kind of jump the gun and say that I can't believe this, I'm done, nobody buy, kind of. Which I almost kind of understand too. Like, okay, if the biggest sell for the games was the voice acting for it, you're a big Helena Taylor fan. It might be Helena Taylor, I'm sorry. If you're a big fan, okay, I understand you're gonna side with her. Can't force anyone to buy anything, But then later, I want to say maybe a couple of days later, Bloomberg came out. I believe Jason Schreier, wrote this, claiming to have spoken with people familiar with the negotiations, I guess, between Platinum Games and Helena Taylor, as well as having apparently viewed documentation about it. I'm sure the people on the Platinum Games end that talked probably wanted to remain anonymous, which makes sense. And apparently, as was said there, Platinum Games sought to hire Taylor for at least 5 sessions, each paying $3,000 to $4,000 for 4 hours in the studio, said the people who asked not to be identified because they aren't authorized to discuss private contract negotiations. It makes sense. That would make the total for the game at least $15,000. In response, they said Taylor asked for a 6-figure sum as well as residuals on the game. Platinum declined, and following lengthy negotiations, took auditions for a new actor. Platinum later offered Taylor a cameo in the game for the fee of 1 session, which she turned down, people said. So that seems to be where she got the $4,000 from as the kind of final offer, because she turned down the $15,000 to $20,000, and they got another one. They got a voice actress, Jennifer Hale, who is apparently very well known, has voiced countless things, such as Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. If you picked the female Commander Shepard, if you hear her voice, it's probably pretty likely to be like, okay, yes, I've heard that before. So there was, as a lot of people said, no way that Jennifer Hale would have taken $4,000 for this. So that's why a lot of it really didn't make sense what Helena Taylor was saying. A big assumption, I think, I heard a few people make this assumption, if she really was offered $4,000 for the whole thing, that would have been like, the only reasonable explanation would have been that Platinum Games like didn't want to hire her, so offered her an insultingly low offer so that she would decline on her own. But as it turns out, that's not even what happened. Now, I'm not gonna say that an argument couldn't be made that, yeah, the $15,000 wasn't enough for the gig. I'm sure an argument can be made about the value of getting the same person on who kind of developed the character voice and everything to come back for the third one. You'd want to, make sure they're well taken care of course. And of course, it does do a good job of just bringing up the subject of maybe voice actors should be paid more for their efforts. I know there's just, in certain parts of the industry, it's a lot worse even, but it definitely does not help the case that she intentionally left out this information and misled in her videos. Of course, at this point, you would want to hear from Helena Taylor herself about this, kind of like a response to this stuff from Bloomberg, where they said they talked to Platinum Games. I think it was also corroborated by another publication. that information. I believe it was after that, Jennifer Hale, the voice actress who they apparently got to actually voice Bayonetta for Bayonetta 3, posted a thing just kind of being vague, of course, because of a non-disclosure agreement that one would not want to break legally. Pretty calm, pretty neutral, just saying like, hey, a lot of people worked really hard on this, and the developers and whatnot, and keep that in mind. And obviously she wouldn't really know anything about any kind of negotiations previously that didn't involve her. It's not like she was like a scab or whatever. Apparently Jennifer Hale and Helena Taylor are in a union for voice acting, and apparently all of the totals that they mentioned for compensation for these things are kind of within the range that for the union. I'm sure she'll do a great job. Sucks that they couldn't work out a deal with the original voice actress. I have Bayonetta 1 and 2. Got it for my birthday from Jamie over the summer. I played the first one. Great game actually. I already wasn't going to be getting the third one when it comes out, just because like I'm not ready for it. Like I'm gonna be playing Sonic next month, and that's gonna lead right into Pokemon, and there's just a lot going on. So I was like, I didn't even think I'd have time. I haven't even finished the second one. I actually started playing Bayonetta 2 because of all this, I think, or at least just remind me like, oh yeah, I still have to play that. So I started that. That's pretty good too. It's a good game. But so this is where it ended off for a while here, as of like, I don't know, the 17th, the 18th, 17th. And that was around the time that people were really kind of like bringing this up with like, okay, here's all the information. But today, we actually have a response from Helena Taylor, as Jason Schreier says. A lot of people, including me, kind of thought like she wasn't gonna bring this up again. She's gonna move past it, which was also a bad look, being like, hey, you're getting called a liar. Do you have anything to say about that? And just seems to be done with it at that point. Interesting. But let's see here. 7 hours ago, so the middle of the night, former Bayonetta voice actor Helena Taylor now confirms by reporting that she was offered at least $15,000, and the final offer was for a cameo, despite the claims in a video that went viral last week, for anyone that has like 10 million views now. According to this screenshot, she says, as I posted on part 3 of my video thread, I explained that their first offer was too low. That offer was $10,000 total. Remember, this is a $450 million franchise, not counting merchandise. I then wrote in Japanese to Hideki Kamiya asking for what I was worth. I thought that as a creative, he would understand. He replied saying how much he valued my contribution to the game and how much fans wanted me to voice the game. I was then offered an extra $5,000. I think she meant right at 5,000 there. So I declined to voice the game. I then heard nothing from them for 11 months. Then they offered me a flat fee to voice some lines for $4,000. Any other lies, such as $4,000 for 5 sessions, are total fabrication. Okay, let's break this down a bit. That she was initially offered $10,000. I feel like that is kind of getting into the range of unappreciative. Like, I don't really know because I'm not in the industry, but like, I'd imagine like if I was going to be voicing the protagonist for the 3rd time in a series that's published by Nintendo, I'd hope I could like, be living comfortably the rest of the year at least, it's October. You'd think you could make it like, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of like considering like, the talent, the making sure her schedule is open for it to do the part, and the appreciation, obviously the significance of having had her on the past 2 games. You want to keep that running. You'd think that there'd be like a pretty good compensation for that. So like there's definitely more of an argument there, like, okay, I could see why she wouldn't be happy with that amount, having like, I guess helped make the character in a way, maybe also. I've heard a lot of people in the industry say the $450 million franchise is like totally made up out of nothing. Like it's really not taking a lot of things into consideration. And if you pull out a calculator, it really starts not really making sense, this number she came up with. Let's pull it out. This shit's not adding up. Zachary Michael, I know. $450 million. let's imagine a fictional world where it cost Platinum Games $0 in any form to make these games. Like they've no like everyone, they got a bunch of volunteers to make the game and didn't have to pay anything for electric or computers or physical copies or anything like that. If everything was free, let's also say that they sold every game for $60 and profited all of the $60, not having to pay anything to anyone else. So 450 million divided by 60, that would be 7.5 million copies of the games would have to be sold, with them making 100% profit off of it. Maybe it did. Maybe the series as a whole, I know it was kind of cross-platform, the first one. Maybe it did sell that much from 1 and 2 combined cross platforms. Maybe it sold 7.5 million total. I'm not sure, but of course that's not profit. It's just a lot of money goes into making a game. The hundreds of people that have to work on it and stuff. I'm sure very costly. So a lot of people in the industry have said that number really doesn't make any sense. It's not like the Bayonetta franchise has like a vault with $450 million sitting in it, I think. But okay, so then talk to Hideki Kamiya, who offered another $5,000 for a total of $15,000 that would be, and that's where the Bloomberg article kind of hit that correctly with the $15,000 at least. So we're left with kind of the situation where it's like basically lying by not telling the entire truth. So the $4,000 she was offered at the end was not to just voice the protagonist in the game. That's not what the offer was. It was for a little cameo thing after she declined. So misleading at best. I mean, if you ask, do voice actors deserve to get paid more? Sure, absolutely. Like, of course. But I feel like this is not helping her. A lot of people saying she ruined her career here. To demand a boycott of the game 2 weeks before it comes out, man. Jason Schreier also says in replies to his thing here, I've seen a number of people, including respected industry pundits and professionals who loudly supported the original video, suggest that the story is murky or that they should wait to hear both sides. Hopefully now they find it a little clearer. It's a real, it's really funny to look back and see all the people who were so adamant at the beginning without hearing all the information. But, that's what you get on Twitter and stuff. There are also some who went after me over the last week for siding with capital over labor. First of all, my job is to side with the truth. Second, consider the labor that was harmed here. Developers, localizers, or other voice actors. Getting the truth out helps them all. That's a really good point too. And even Jennifer Hale made that point, like, hey, a lot of people worked on this game and they're happy with everything regarding it, which makes sense. I think there's definitely really good reasons to boycott games. In this case, we're not talking about like deeply rooted harassment from management level, from your superiors and stuff like that, which is totally great reasons to boycott games, the like Activision Blizzard stuff from the last year, which apparently at least part of that was actually settled. I found like some agency on behalf of the employees like settled in court some of that. I don't know if that makes things better or not over there, but I'm getting off topic. That's its own thing. But I just wanted to kind of relate that back to say, like, that's a great reason to boycott something, like a situation like that. In this case, it was like a person insulted by an offer for a job. It feels like not quite on the same level. Not that they're not both concerns, of course. And again, should voice actors get paid more? Yes, sure, absolutely. The initial 10,000, sure, that seems maybe a bit low from me, an outsider looking at it, but that's about where like the sympathy ends. It would seem, just based on all the misinformation that she kind of put out there. And also, unfortunately to her, this has brought a lot of publicity to this game that's about to come out. And now that it's kind of turned out that they're not exactly the wrong ones in this, I think it's probably gonna boost sales of this game a lot. It even got me playing the second one again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I really wasn't gonna cover this anywhere because so many people already got onto it, and like I was waiting for more information to come out anyway, and we've been kind of casually discussing it on Twitch streams. But now that it seems like it's pretty said and done deal, we got a response from her about that information. She basically confirmed it in a way, but like also trying to seem like she wasn't. It seems like that's all the story to tell there. But what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Was this type of video interesting at all to you? Please let me know. Just trying some things out here. Of course, there's always the WiLLo Davis Games channel for gaming related stuff. And I hope to see you over on twitch.tv/WiLLo Davis. But that'll do it for now. And I'll see you next time. WiLLo Davis out.